Hello again, YouTube. It's Skylar. Welcome back to my face. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about coming out as transgender and what that can mean for a lot of people who are trans as well as those around them. Now, the first thing that you have to keep in mind if you're transgender and you haven't told anybody yet is that it may come as a big shock to some people. I know in my personal situation, I was not a effeminate man in any way. I was actually very, very masculine, very alpha male, corporate America dominant male. So when I came out as a girl, yeah, that kind of was shocking to most everyone that knew me because they were like, wow, did not see that coming. So that was definitely a shock. But you have to keep in mind that it's all about timing and preparedness. So, for example, don't make the same mistakes that I did by not giving enough time to prepare someone before telling them, or telling them without any notice, or in a scenario, telling them after you've already transitioned, which is extremely shocking. And yeah, I kind of regret that last one, but it happened, so can't take it back now. So trying to gauge how someone's going to react, as I mentioned in a previous video, is not always going to be the easiest, but it is important that you need to recognize that it's going to be a big shock. So you have to treat it as that. You can't just kind of on a whim tell someone, hey, I know you always thought I was a dude, but I'm actually a woman. You have to sort of sit them down and sort of prep them in a discussion before you tell them. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it, because if they're already anticipating that you're going to tell them something about yourself that's really revealing and important, the shock value of telling them that you're trans won't be so explosively different, because they already know you're going to tell them something that's already really important. So I know that's not the best way to describe that, but I would say, like, when dealing with family members, probably the best way to go about it is you are going to have to tell them in a series of coming out, whereas you tell them, there is something I need to tell you, but I don't want to talk about it right now, and then sort of gradually ease into that conversation until you have that serious discussion where you actually sit down and say, this is what's going on. And I think that's probably the most appropriate way. I mean, I can't speak for all people. I'm just going off of my own personal experience as far as things that I wish I would have done differently as far as coming out as transgender to my friends and family. But I do think that making sure that you give them time to prepare for that information is better than not. So in that way, I hope that is helpful for anyone who is transgender, or even in the LGBT community itself as a whole, who may be struggling with trying to come out as transgender and may not know what the most appropriate or best path is. And it really all comes down to timing, and there's no one particular way to do it that's the best. There's just the best for you. And really, you shouldn't hold back coming out based on what other people might think. It should be entirely dependent on how you as a person feel, and when you feel you're ready to come out, that's when it's the best time. But you just have to keep in mind other people's perspective of how they're going to have to absorb all that information, and sometimes they may not be prepared for that right away. So you have to keep that into consideration. So I hope that was helpful. And this was a shorter video, but it's been a long day. I just got off work. So until tomorrow, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.